Hey guys, before the video starts, I just want to give a great shout out to my wonderful members Jesse HOH, Trashy Paper Plus Shows, Dazzling Hattering, Enchanted Stones, and Plush Anime Game Adventures, as well as Giratina Satrap Gaming and Jster. Thank you all so much for the extra support. You guys rule. Now, onto the video.
All of us convey to everybody. There's a dream you got, is that you that you can't see. Aching for the stimuli, every cell deep inside of me has to rise somehow. Even now, all of us, to those that doubt, bid farewell. All of us convey to everybody. Life is not a race, but even so, we're on a Grand Prix.
Hey guys, it is I, TDI Fan, and in this video, I'll be talking about this movie that I just saw. Yeah, I just got done watching this recent release called Roofman. It stars Channing Tatum, Kirsten Dunst, Peter Dinklage, many other actors. And what are my thoughts? So I've seen the trailers quite a bit. Usually when I go to the movies to watch other movies that come out before, and they would have this trailer show during the previews, and I was like, yeah, this looks kind of fun. My family was wanting to watch the movie, so we went, and now that I've seen it, yeah, it's pretty much what I expected. I didn't have a lot of expectations before seeing the film. Now that I've seen it, it's simple fun. Nothing more than that, I would say. Channing Tatum is pretty much the exact same as he's been in other films. Well, I haven't really seen a movie where he's had like a serious role. I know that there's probably at least one out there, but I haven't seen it and seen him act all serious and stuff. But I will say he's still great with the type of role that he usually does in all of his movies and stuff. So it was nice to see Kirsten Dunst again in a role like this, and then Peter Dinklage was a nice surprise as well, even though I've heard he has a lot of hate right now, but I will say he was not bad here in this movie. He actually stole most of his stuff, like most of his scenes and all that stuff. But the movie itself, it's based on a true story. This happened back in the early 2000s. A guy was hiding in a Toys R Us for a couple of months because he robbed so many places. He got arrested. He escaped jail, and he hit a nearby Toys R Us. And that was where this whole story began and followed through. He fell in love with this person that worked at the Toys R Us, and he was living a pretty nice life for a couple of months until he got discovered. And then he's currently in jail to this day. So I'm pretty sure I vividly heard this story before, but I didn't really know a lot of it. So it was nice seeing the story play throughout this film. It was my first time witnessing the story, I guess, or most of it. But I will say this guy gets away with a lot of stuff. And I mean, granted, this was taking place in the early 2000s, but you'd think there would be a lot of security and that the cops weren't. It's either he was too smart or the cops were too dumb. I don't know. But still, I was like, this guy is getting away with a lot of things. And he was this close to, going out scot-free. But, of course, things happen. And, yeah, I don't know. But that's the whole true story bit of the film. The movie itself, I thought it was pretty nice. The acting is great. The cinematography is pretty nice. They're trying to, show the emotional bits and really try to make them be super emotional and stuff. At times I definitely felt the emotions, but it wasn't anything super sad like the recent release, The Smashing Machine and stuff like that. But yeah, I just thought this movie was pretty solid. I don't really have a lot to say about it. If I were to rate this movie out of 10, I would give it a solid 7. It's not a bad movie, by all means. It's not a bad movie. The people who made this movie did great, but it's not a movie that I would say you got to see on the big screen, you know? It's pretty much going to be a movie that you can watch at home, and let's be honest, it's probably going to make most of its business at home anyway, because I don't really see this movie, becoming a hit and stuff like that, at least in theaters. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Roofman. I thought it was a solid movie, a fun watch, probably a movie I'm going to forget, or like, when it comes to how much great movies there were this year, this is probably not going to be a movie that I will remember much, but it's a solid watch. If you want to see something like this, then I would recommend it, I guess. But there are other movies that I would watch rather than this that are out in theaters right now. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Roofman. A solid 7 out of 10. The next movie I may or may not see in theaters will probably be Good Fortune, starring Keanu Reeves, Seth Rogen, everyone else. That movie actually looks interesting, and I have interest in it, so I'll probably check that one out. Maybe Tron Ares. I'm very iffy on Tron Ares. I might check it out whenever I get the chance, but I don't know if I will. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's my review on Roofman. Have you seen Roofman? What are your thoughts on the movie? If not, are you planning to check it out? Let me know in the comments. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.